So students, today we will be talking about three aspects in lists: aliasing, cloning, and list as parameters, right? And the confusion or the difference between list as parameters and the one that we have already seen, argument list. The last point we have already seen, so we will revisit it again for the sake of completeness. So essentially, we'll be covering these three topics: aliasing or alias, cloning, and the last part. Okay. So before we see some examples, or before we understand this through some simple examples, right? First of all, tell me what is aliasing, students. What do you understand by aliasing? What do you mean by when you say an alias for a particular thing?
Alias is reference.
Correct. Alias is reference. Can you be much more clear when you say alias is a reference?
Different ways of calling the variable.
Hmm?
Different ways of accessing the same variable.
Yeah, different ways of accessing the same variable. Correct. Right. So students, please remember that alias is nothing but a concept for referencing a particular value, right, through different names. Right. So that is called as an alias. Right. So you can think of alias as a kind of another name for a particular value. All right. Now, why would you want to make use of an alias? Say, for example, whenever you want to have a very fast or quicker way to refer to a particular data or a particular value, right? Rather than copying, say, for example, rather than copying, right? It is a much more quicker way to refer to that particular data by creating an alias. So those are the important points that you need to remember, right? So how do you do an alias, students? So when you say you refer to the same value or data, how can you do that in Python? It's a very simple thing, right? Now that you have said the correct meaning, how can you do it in Python?
A is equal to B because
Pardon?
just by simple assignments.
Just by simple assignment, correct. So it happens by whenever you assign or whenever a particular variable, right, is assigned to another variable, right? So that is the simple process of aliasing, right? And one more point you need to remember when you do an aliasing, right, whenever required, right, is you need to be careful when you deal with certain kinds of data items when you use aliasing. And what is that? Can anybody make a guess?
So what was the question?
The question is you need to be a little bit careful with specific kind of data when you alias a particular variable. Any guesswork, guys?
List or dictionary?
Come again, list or dictionary. You
It's
need to be
difficult.
careful.
Yeah, immediately can.
It is not difficult, but see, when you make use of something that is mutable, that is the point here. So when you alias an immutable data, right, it is kind of always safer. You have your original assays, right? And when you deal with mutable data, you need to be very careful, right? So that you don't get any unintended results because mutable data change, right? So even if you change the particular value, right, that particular changed value is reflected in both. So depending upon the nature of your particular program and when you alias it, right, you need to be careful when you deal with mutable data and immutable data, right? Right, so that is the point. You need to be careful when you deal with mutable data. Okay, now let us understand this aliasing through a very simple idea or example. So we know that now Aliasing is nothing but assigning a particular variable to another variable so that it references or points to the same thing, right? So let me come to this program and let us understand this better through some simple aliasing, right? Say, for example, let me have a string with my name, right? Say name1, right? And let me have this as, say, a string literal, right? All right. And when you create an alias, what do you can have a variable, say n2 or name2, right, equal to n1. This is aliasing. Right now, n1 and n2 points to the same data. Right now, see here the point. You need to be careful when you deal with mutable things. Immutable data, it is safe, right? No problem. Right now, string is mutable or immutable, guys?
Immutable.
String is immutable, right? Now, to understand this, right? Now, when I print n1 and when I print n2, right? What will be the value?
Same, sir.
It is the same. Okay. Now, say for example, let me do a concatenation, right, to my name and say add my last name as well, right? So let me say n1 is equal to n1 plus say Chandar, right? And if I print now n1, right? What is the value now? I get my full name, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me have a space as well.
So, but N2 will not change, right, sir?
Yeah, n2 will not change. Right?
Yes.
Okay, now let us take some mutable data. Say, let me have a mutable data, or say, let me do it in the same thing first. Now, if I make this a list, right? So n1 is mutable or immutable? Yes.
Sir, if string is immutable, then how n1 equal to n1 plus Chandar is working, sir? Like, I don't get it.
It will show an error, I think, sir.
No, string is immutable, but what you are doing is you are creating a concatenation. So essentially, like you are creating another object here. This is another object here. Both objects are getting concatenated to be replaced in n1.
That
You are
is,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
But in that step, n1 plus adding something essentially means that we are changing it only. No, sir. Is it different from?
So that is the point. That is an illusion here. It is not actually you're changing. You're not changing in place, right? What you're essentially doing here is, right, you are creating a separate object, right? That object is concatenated with another object n1, right? And then n1 is replaced.
Oh, okay.
Sir, shouldn't for
So if I do an
concatenation,
n1 of 0 and try to change it, then I'll get an
Yeah,
error.
it won't. Yeah, you cannot.
Okay,
If
okay.
you say n1 of 0 is equal to some other character here, right, that is not going to work.
Okay, okay, sir, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so continue our discussion further. Now, what is n1, guys? Immutable or mutable?
mutable, sir.
Mutable, sir.
Now, n1 is mutable, right? Now, what will be print n1 and n2? Will it be same or will it be
Same,
different?
sir. Same.
Different, sir.
It will be different. Why do we say so? It won't be different, right? Because now it is a mutable data.
Mutable.
So when it is a mutable data, right, n1 and n2 will point to the same object.
Can't concatenate string with list. No.
Yeah, so we
They're
cannot
two
do that.
different data types.
Yeah, so we can, what can we do?
Dot append.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, now you are getting in the form of a list, right? But if you want to have it in the form of a string, you can make use of the join method and do that as well if you want, right? But you understood, right? Okay. Now let us have another variation and understand this much more detail, right? Say, let me have a list with say 3 elements, 10, 20, and say 30, and say y with another list, right? All right. Now if I say print x equal to y, right? What is the answer?
Nothing.
Nothing.
False.
Y false. Equal to is testing for the value, right? And both the values are different, so you say false, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now if I say this, that's 10, 20, and 30, this is true, right?
Yes, sir.
Now what will be the answer if I say if print x is y?
Will be false, sir.
True, sir.
All of you agree with that? It will be false. Why it will be false?
Because x and y are different containers, so they'll have different IDs.
Correct. So they are essentially both different objects, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, say for example, let me have a value for the first element of x and let me change it. Say x of 0 is equal to, right?
Sir,
Say 200. Yes.
sir, I just want a small clarification here. If x was just 10, an integer, and y was 10, then if x, then x is y will be true or false. Okay, we are using is, sir. Okay.
You are using s. S
I
compares
got
the
it.
object.
Okay, I just forgot that part. Okay, got it. Sir.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Sir, got it.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
okay. So, maybe before changing, right, let me do an aliasing, right? So if I want to alias, right, what can I do? X and y, say y equal to x.
Now x and y both will have x values, sir.
Correct. It points to the same value, right?
X value or y value, sir? Oh, sorry, both are same. What if
Yeah,
both were different, sir?
both were different.
And we give x is equal to y. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the value of this, the value of y will contain these objects, this data.
Now, if we print x and y, which value will get printed?
X and y, see, x will print this, y will also print this value.
Okay, yes.
All right?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, again, x is equal to y, x is y, true, false, right? Now that we have said y is equal to x, it is not false, it is true. Are you satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Understanding?
Sir, so for immutable types, even after aliasing, if we change the original one, it doesn't change. But for mutable, it change also reflected in the aliased variable. Sir.
Correct, absolutely. Yeah, now let me do that change, right? So since it is mutable, if I do a change to my first element of x and say this is 0, right? And if I print x or say whatever, if I change x or y, right? And print x or y, so let me print say x here. I have changed y, and if I print x, what do you think will be the value of x?
220, 30.
200, 20, 30. Understanding? Okay, so this is an example for aliasing, and you need to be careful with mutable and immutable types, right? Any doubts on this?
No, sir.
Okay, next is cloning. Now, what is cloning, guys? How is it different from aliasing?
This will have a separate memory location.
Huh?
Is this cloning it has a separate memory location than alias?
Yeah, it is copying. Cloning is when you want to have a copy, right? And if you want to also retain your original, right? Typically, when you make use of a mutable, and if you want to have a copy of the mutable data and also retain your original, you clone it. Okay. So that is the definition of cloning, right? And there are different ways in which you can clone, right? There are typically 6 to 7 ways, right? Let us see all those particular ways and how we can clone it, right? You can make use of any particular way to clone, right? Depending upon your preference. And these particular ways that I have listed down here from line 61 to 66, right? Are the fastest to the slowest, right? So slicing is the most fastest technique for cloning, right? With respect to the execution time. All right. So let us get started. So let me have this same example here. Let me remove this part. Okay, let me remove all this guys. Okay, so let us start with the first technique, right? Slicing, right? You can make use of slicing to clone, right? Now, before making use of slicing, right? As we have already seen, right? If you say y equal to x, right? This is not cloning. This is aliasing that we are already familiar, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, when I say cloning, right, you essentially copy this and also you retain your original copy. So if there is a modification, the original is not affected. So what you can do here is you can say y equal to, you can make use of the slicing operator. That's it. This is cloning.
Sir, so this time any changes in x or y will not be reflected onto the other, sir.
Yes. So let us do that as well. So first let us print x and y. Right, in this case it is 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, right? Now if you print x and y, what will be happening? Now that we have cloned, will it be 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30 or 20, 20, 30 and 10, 20, 30?
X will be 20, 20, 30 and Y will be 10, 20, 30.
Let us see. Yeah, so this is making use of the slicing operator. Clear, all of you?
So why didn't you go other way, like 20, 20, 10, 20, 30, and then 20, 20, 30?
Your voice is very feeble.
So I mean, I can just print it again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, so because you changed X, okay, fine.
Clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So hope this is clear to all of you. The second way is you can make use of the extend method of list. There is a method called as extend that you can make use of, right? Well, what does extend do, anybody? We have seen append. There is also something called as extend.
We can add many number of elements.
Yeah, so essentially it is like you do a kind of concatenation on the entire list. Append is you append an item to the last place.
Last place.
Yeah, so we can also do a extend to essentially do a list cloning, right? So let us do a extend and do a list cloning. So let us say we have B, right? B dot, we don't have B. So let us initialize B to an empty list, right? And say we can say B dot extend, right? And let us extend A.
Sorry, sir. Hello.
Yes.
I had some net issue like for 5 minutes. Could you please repeat what you said or like?
Repeat this part for the extend.
Yes, sir. This X, yeah, this part.
Yeah, so this is our second way of cloning, which is making use of the extend method of your list. So you can make use of the extend method to clone a list, and that is what we are saying here, right? So I have the original list X, which contains 3 elements 10, 20, 30, and I have an empty list B, and I make use of B dot extend, right? And extend the list A, right? Here I don't have A, it is X. Right, and then if I just modify the same element, right? Okay, first of all, let me print X and Y. So what will be X and Y, guys, now?
There is no Y here.
Huh?
There is no Y here, no, sir.
Okay, I have done a B here. So let me replace this as Y. Okay. So there is no Y here. So we have added Y here instead of B. So what will be the answer here?
10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30.
It is 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30. What will be the answer now? Okay, sorry, again I'm using B here. So let me say this is, say Y, or say, let me say X, whatever. So if X of 1 is equal to 44, if I print X and Y now,
44, 20, 30, 40, 10, 20, 30.
it's 10, 44, 30 and 10, 20, 30, right?
Yes, sir.
10, 44, 30 and 10, 20, 30. All of you clear? Any doubts on this? Extend. So this is our second way. Okay, now, so no, if no doubts, let us go to the third way. We can make use of the list constructor as well. So how do you make use of a list constructor, guys? Can anybody tell? What is the type of X?
Sir, is it
X is a
class
list.
list?
It is a list. So what is the class name of X? List, right?
Yes, sir.
And we have talked about constructors, objects. We have seen some simple examples, right? So what will be the name of the constructor?
Just X.
List.
List, right? So let us create an object, right, of the list type, right, using this particular style, right, and pass in a particular list, right, and our list is X in this case.
X in this case, yes, sir.
Yeah, and if I do the same thing again, right, it is cloning. So this is also cloning. If I run this now, you see, you get the same output. All right, so this is the next way using the constructor. The next one is you can make use of list comprehension. Now you tell me, how do I do it? No, I'm not going to write it. You tell me what is to be written, I will write it. You know list comprehension.
Sir, we can use range to copy one by one into the new list.
Yeah, so I can say probably for I in X. Yeah, am I done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I think that's it.
Yeah, so you can make use of list comprehension as well. So you can also make use of your append of list to do a copy. So how do you do append of list?
We have to use a for loop, sir.
Okay, so let us make use of a for loop. So tell me. So I say for
I in X,
okay, for I in X.
you have to create the empty list, sir, before to append it.
Okay, so let me do a pass. Let me create empty list. Okay.
y dot append I.
Great. So y dot append I. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, we can make use of a built-in method called as copy, which is available in list, right? To copy. So how do we do that?
Y is equal to x dot copy.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether this will be okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the main 6 methods, right, that you guys can make use of for cloning. All right. Now let us move to the next topic. List as parameters and argument list, right? So let us start with the first one, list as parameter, and follow certain best practices. So let us have this same list again, and let me remove this. Okay, now let us pass this list as a parameter, right, to a particular function, right, and define that particular function and print all the elements in X, right? Again, making use of best practices of a function, right? Essentially returning from a function, right, and not printing within the function. So how do we do that? So let's get started. First of all, let us pass this as a parameter, right, to a function, right? Say let us have a function called as test, right? So the function name is test that I will define, right? Yeah. Now tell me guys, how do we do it? Our idea here is to pass this particular list as a parameter to test, right? And then print all these particular elements, right, within test. Let us start with the function definition, right? And let us say pass x, which is our list, right? And let us have this as say some other variable k. Okay, so how do we go about? Students, tell me.
So what is the question, sir?
The question is to print all the elements in X inside this particular function. This is essentially the idea behind passing your list as a parameter to function.
Okay, we can create a
We need to
form.
create another variable in the function, right, sir?
Pardon?
Do we create another variable in the function because we need to return something, no?
Yeah, you need to return something. So how
So
do
we
we go
create
about
some
it?
variable there, no, like a blank string.
Yeah, you can create a variable.
We
And
can
we
use
used a for loop in the previous question to like fill that blank string out and then it return it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that?
So tell me, like, what do I write now?
Y is equal to empty string,
Okay.
and then for I in X,
Okay.
how do we add it?
It be I in K, sir.
Oh yeah,
I
K,
in
K, right? Because we're getting
Okay.
X is K is empty variable.
Okay.
we have to print the variables inside the function or inside the main function, sir.
Pardon?
We have to print each variables inside the function or inside the main function.
You need to return the value from the function.
So we can use yield, right?
Yeah. So tell me, like, what do I write now?
Can we say y bracket I is equal to k bracket I? So first element of y will be first element of k, like that,
Okay.
and so on. And once the loop is finished, you just return y.
You mean this?
Yeah, can we try it? Sure.
But this will print the entire list, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So let us do a print here. List index out of range, it says.
What is
Y of I is equal to K of I.
Sir,
I
I
is
is
the value, sir. Why are we doing y of I, sir?
yes.
Correct. I is that particular item, so we cannot do that here.
Why can't you just append I to the list y? Why not append of I
Yeah.
and then return y? Now this will work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So either you can do it this way, or somebody was telling you can also make use of the yield thing. That is also fine. Right now, if
Sir,
I
we
just
can simply even do return k, right?
return,
K without even using a for loop.
and you don't want this as well.
Yeah, if you want to just a print, we can just return k.
This is going to just print 10,
And
right?
we don't need a function at all. We can just say print x in the start itself.
No, this will not print all the elements, right? This will only print 10.
Sir, it returns the entire list, no, sir.
It returns the entire list as a list. Okay, but if I want to print all the individual elements without this particular notation, right? Even here you are printing in this particular notation.
Oh, so don't want it as one full string.
Yeah, I
List,
don't
sir.
want this as a list representation here in the output. I want it in a human readable fashion. All the elements separately. So whether even if you return k or even if you make use of this y dot append, you are having this.
Can we make it y a string, sir? A blank
Sir,
string?
return after each. Okay, can we return after each iteration? Like, it won't work, no, sir. After one iteration, the function will control go there.
Yeah.
So we
Correct.
have to pass each and every element of x.
Yeah. What will happen if you do a join here? Will it work? You cannot do a join here. Yeah.
Yes, it is integer type.
Correct. Correct. So that is. So what can I do? Say maybe I can say y. Can I do that? And if I pass y, right? But if I pass y here, right, you don't have append method for your string. Correct. So that is not going to work. So it prints, but this is not what we want.
It takes each and one as a string, zero as a string, comma as a string, I guess.
Yeah, so we don't want this. So what else can we do, guys?
I guess only yield is the only option, sir.
Yield is the only option. Okay, so let us do that.
Or else we can pass each and every element of x to the function and return it.
You can use a loop in the main and call the function every time for each
Correct.
and return one element.
Yes, sir, that way.
Yeah, we can do that. So let us do a yield. Shall we do a yield?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do I do? For I in K, let me do a yield of I, right? And then there is no return here. So whether this will work?
We have to create a loop in the main function.
This is okay?
For I in test of x, then print I.
Test of I, right?
No,
Okay,
sir.
test of
For
X.
I in test of x.
Yeah, correct. That's a iterable since you're doing a yield. So test of, and then let us, we can print I, right? Will this work or not?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so this is list as parameters, right? Using best practices, we are not doing a print within the function, rather we are returning it. Essentially, we are yielding it. Okay, now tell me what is argument list, students? What is argument list? Anybody? You have already seen this concept of argument list, students. Just a refresher, please tell me.
So is it like arguments in a class for which can be applied for a class?
No, argument list is like you can supply any number of arguments to a
Star,
particular
yeah,
function.
star, yeah, yeah, yes.
Args and quarks.
Yeah. So what can we do here? So just to have a simple example. Let me call test, right? And for simplicity, let me just pass in 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me just print all these elements and let me make use of the same function, right? Just to have an example, right? Now, in this particular case, what will essentially happen? Here, I'm not using star, right? Just to show the difference, right? What will happen?
Positional arguments will vary, sir. We are passing 4, but
Yeah.
in the definition we have defined only 1.
Yeah, so let me comment this out also and let me do a print of this. Yeah, so what is going to be printed? Positional argument, you are passing 4, you have only 1. So essentially,
Error.
error. It takes one positional argument, but 4 was given. Right? So I can solve that, but before solving it using argument list, right? So if I just pass the appropriate correct arguments, right? In this case, we have just only one argument. But we get the generator object, we don't get the output, right? So what can we have?
We have to use a for loop. So
Okay, so let us just uncomment this and can we use this loop? Int object is not iterable. So how can we solve this, guys?
passing a list. And okay.
Where will you pass a list?
So there's no need to use it. We are using a for loop inside the test function, sir. So it can't be iterable.
Yeah, it is not iterable. So what is the solution?
What we have to do, sir, actually, we are gonna pass a list of values.
Yeah, the point here is we are trying to understand argument list, but before making use of star, we are just doing it with the same number of arguments. In this case, one argument here, one argument here, but we are getting the object itself, but not the item. No, we are getting essentially a type error. Int object is not iterable. Yeah, so it is essentially an int object here.
This one number we can't use it in a loop.
We enclose that one number within a tuple or list that can.
Okay. Okay, so can we do this? Even if it is a one number?
Yes. Sir.
Okay, so positional arguments here I'm having this, right? And say let me have another positional argument here. Right, in this case, like first of all, like there are two parameters here, there is only one parameter here, so this should not work, right? So how can you fix this?
By giving a star.
By giving a star, where?
Near before k.
Right? So this is argument list or list arguments, both are used interchangeably, right? So the star k, right, or the notation of star, right, refers to variable number of arguments or argument list. You can pass in any number of arguments as you like, right, and do whatever operations you want to do, right? And the previous thing was like passing the list itself was a parameter that we have seen. All right, students, clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we will stop here and continue our discussion in the next class. So if there are no doubts, shall I stop screen sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay then.